All right, hello everyone. This video is for JR. JR had a question in the post in the group about how to make your chords sound churchy. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that. And I think the key to unlocking that particular sound is a better understanding of dominant sevens. And so we're going to be in the key of F today. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1, okay? Now, when you're talking about a chord, you can have chords that sound jazzier, chords that sound more bluesy, chords that sound more contemporary. But really what we're talking about when we're talking about theory is we're talking about dominant sevens when it comes to gospel, blues, jazz. They all kind of are connected in some way. They all kind of have the same origin story. So dominant sevens is the key. So if I'm in a key of F, and then I add in my major 7 would be E, but my dominant 7 is E flat. Now, E flat is not in the key of F. It's not in there. And that's what gives it the tension that you're wanting, that churchy sound. It's the dominant 7. And so when you add a dominant 7 to a major chord, gives it this really beautiful tension that we love. So I could play a song like Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, right? Or I could say Amazing Grace. There's that 7. I'm actually putting the 7 at the bottom. And I'm adding a tritone there too. And I'll get into that in a second because that's that next level. But first, it's important to understand the dominant 7 and the beauty of a dominant 7. So in my example, sing grace, how sweet, right? I do it again here on the B flat. I had a dominant 7. Sweet the sound that saved. Right, that's a major G. But if I wanted to add it, make it a little more funky, I can add a dominant 7 there as well. And I'm actually adding in a tritone there as well, you can see. Dominant 7 again. There's that B flat. The chord is a C chord. I'm actually kind of doing this little, right, to give it a little bit of flair in there. So that's a 13 chord there. Gives you a little bit of flair, but it's really the root of it, the basics of it is that dominant 7. The dominant 7 is really kicking it. Now, what I'm also adding is a tritone. So if I'm in the key of F, the third of F would be A. And when I pair that 3 with the E flat, it gives now even more dissonance, even more tension, right? They used to call the tritone the devil's interval, right? Because the distance creates this really tension, a lot of tension. And the only way to release that tension is to resolve it to a major chord. Going from that tension to a major gives it a resolved sound. But we like tension. We like tension and resolution, tension and resolution. And so in the churchy atmosphere, it's really that. So I'm going to play the whole song for you, adding in the 7s and some tritones in there so you can kind of get an idea about it in this example of Amazing Grace. So Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved. This is a D chord here. So this is a augmented 7. So an easy way to look at this is to look at it as a B flat and second inversion over a tritone. G flat and C, making it rootless, but it's really a D chord. Right, to a G minor. It's about incorporating in your dominant 7 chords, which is the non-diatonic note. The 7 is a whole step down from the 1, which is the E flat in the key of F. And then adding a third, pairing a third with that. So creating an interval, a tritone interval. And I typically put it in my left hand for it to really stick out. And this sounds really beautiful over a couple of different other intervals in your right hand. So we were not thinking about it from the perspective of chords, but thinking about it from the perspective of intervals stacked on top of another interval. Having this tritone stacked over, let's say, a 4th interval, right? Or here, a 4th interval, right here makes it an F. It gives you this combination of this perfect, right? A perfect 4th, which just means that it's stable. It means that it's complete. It means that it's perfect, right? You have a perfect sound here over a very dissonant sound. So like kind of like perfect over devil. That's what gives you that churchy sound, okay? And so being able to like play those intervals together, it makes a difference. We do it in shop music, right? Right? That's just working up tritones. Okay? So it'll be, right, that's the walk up. So it's like, sorry, I messed that up. So that's kind of the walk up there. And I would practice that. I would practice your walk ups, just chromatic. Just keep practicing that all the way up and down as an exercise. And the more you do that, what you'll do is you get more flexibility in being able to play those tritones. Pair that with a perfect 4th in your right hand, perfect 4th interval over a tritone. So if you work on that a little bit, you'll kind of get that churchy sound. Yeah. I would just keep doing that all the way up until you feel uncomfortable. Okay, this video is too long. Sorry about that. But anyway, work on your dominant 7 chords, add those, incorporate those in, work on your tritones, and that'll give you that churchy sound. So I hope this helps you. God bless.